Hi, I'm Shane Phillips, the Chief Executive Officer of the Phillips Group. We're a management consultancy focusing in HR consulting, and I'm here at the largest HR convention in the GCC, the HR Summit and Expo. And not only that, I'm here with the #1 Comp and Ben consultant, Sandrine Bardot, and here she is. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So as I was saying, isn't it that, when we look back 200 years ago, you had your base salary plus incentive. Now we're 21st century, IOC, AI, all of these technology, whatever acronyms. But really it's like, well, you're a base pay plus an incentive. We're still using the same system we had 300 years ago.
Yes. Well, 300 years ago, people were slaves. So I think we've made a lot of progress compared to that. But
Debatable.
yes. Well, depends. In most parts of the world, let's just say. No, seriously, I think you still need to have a base pay to cover the minimum lifestyle that the person needs to pay for themselves. You put incentives in place, financial incentives in place. Those are necessary to help drive the behavior because they're very explicit, especially when it's a proper incentive, which is do this, you will get that. Okay, very explicit. They shouldn't be too big because they can have counter effects if you focus people too much on the financial rewards. But what more and more companies are doing nowadays is that they're introducing what's called total rewards, which adds an element of non-financial rewards, recognition, wellness initiatives, so that we address the employee as a whole in the organization, not just as a machine to produce and to be rewarded by cash.
Can you give us some examples of where incentives have gone horribly wrong? Like, for example, I had one client and they said, look, we want people to start inputting in our database. Whoever puts the most clients in our database gets a trip to Hawaii. And so you see a couple people's performance goes way off the chart, and then everyone else, as soon as they feel like they can't win, their performance goes down.
Yes.
So net, you actually decrease the performance of the team with your incentive.
Yes, it can happen. That's when the incentive is not well thought through and well designed. I think in most cases, we've seen very famous cases. There was a Wells Fargo Bank, I think a year or 2 years ago in the US, where the way that they had designed the sales incentives, the salespeople in the bank were selling credit to the wrong people and who were not able to pay back. And that really created a lot of mess. I think that's why when an organization designs incentive, it shouldn't be just an HR or a comp and ben job. It should be done with the representatives of employees from that part of the business and making sure that you have fail-safe elements. But I think incentives can go wrong for many different reasons, but they can be also extremely successful. It really depends how you handle it and how you communicate about it. And if you use latest technologies or ways of thinking such as the nudge theory, which got the Nobel Prize for this theory, you can design your incentive in ways that don't reduce the options of people, but make them by default in the best solution possible for themselves. So it's quite a nice way of working with incentives in a way that will be good for your employees at the same time.
Well, Sandrine Bardot, merci beaucoup.
My pleasure. Thank you.